Alright guys, welcome to the show. ShopCast EP5.
Episode 5, man. Episode 5.
Starting out, you drink tea, man?
Tea?
Yeah,
like what
tea.
kind of tea? What are we talking about?
Just tea.
Like
You
hot tea
a
or
tea
like
drinker?
sweet tea? Cause I
Hot
love
tea?
sweet tea.
Oh.
Sweet tea like mug.
Now,
Now,
don't you hate, like, making some tea, right? You make some tea, go to take a sip, and just to find out, use the wrong kind of tea, and now you got scalding hot balls and pubes in your water? Shit's
no, dude, I don't think
ridiculous,
that's
bro.
ever fucking happened.
You're waddling down the Walmart aisle.
Why do you
looking
have
for,
balls and
olive
pubes
cane?
in your fucking tea?
Yeah, use the wrong kind of tea bag, bro.
God damn it. I get it. Fucking Christ, dude.
Yeah.
Alright.
Thought I'd open with a lighthearted joke.
That's good, man. It's good.
Ah.
So, guys, this is our 4th of July episode.
Yeah.
Right?
Happy 4th.
Happy 4th. It's just doing a little early in the morning, in the middle of the week, which is different for us. But, we got to do it on the 4th. We might get one later this weekend. I don't know. We'll see. But, let's full on start it off.
Yeah.
All right, man. So, like I was telling you earlier, right? Me and my wife are trying to eat healthier, right?
Yeah.
So we both
Solid.
want to get rid of some of this fucking weight that we've got.
Saw the copious amounts of healthy shit you
Oh
have on your
man,
counter.
dude, the chia seeds and the fucking quinoa with the agave nectar. Anyways, so we're trying to eat healthier, and the problem we came around is we went to the grocery store, and for 1 week's worth of food, $240.
Yeah,
$240
that's insane.
fucking dollars, right? And so it only made me think, like, why the fuck just eat healthy, just to keep me and my wife in a better shape and not eat processed bullshit, do I have to sacrifice that much money? Like, that's
Crazy,
so
man.
fucking much. And it makes me wonder, like, I wouldn't say like a government conspiracy because I don't believe in that shit, but
It's
like, fuck, man, you make it so easy for me to go spend $1.29 for a McDouble than it would be to get my own burger and my own everything, and it would cost like $6-7. Like, what the fuck is that?
yeah, and I feel like it's cheaper for the stuff that's not healthy, right? Because it has all those preservatives in it, so they can save it longer.
Yeah, no,
They
I mean,
don't have
I
to worry about it going bad.
Right, and so that's why, like, I understand that it's somewhat cheaper to put a bunch of salt and a bunch of preservatives in something, and it'll last for a whole month, right?
One reason I think we're so unhealthy is because
They want to complain about,
expensive.
why is obesity such a horrible problem in America? Well, it's because you make a double cheeseburger $1.29, and you making your own burger $7.
Yeah.
That's fucking why. Like, the normal family of 4 is not going to spend, because, like, it's just me and my wife, right? $240 for 2 fucking people. Like, double that. $480? You fucking kidding me?
Every
For
2
a
weeks?
week of food? You're fucking high. There's nobody ever gonna fucking pay that shit.
Wait, so it's $220 for you both?
240.
$240 for you both, and double that. That's $480 for a family of 4.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
In theory,
Yeah.
right? That's ridiculous.
It is.
Ridiculous. And I'm not even buying all sorts of crazy,
That's-
like, shit. Now, I will say some of it's like, okay, the chia seeds and the fucking flax seeds and shit, that'll last us a while. Right?
Yeah.
I got you. And that was like $8-9. But starting out, for any family who wants to fucking eat healthy and be conscious about, like, what they eat, so you're not some fat piece of shit, like, it's expensive. And most of America is not making that kind of money, that you can spend that kind of money.
That's crazy. Like, my wife and I, we spend we were spending like roughly $350 for every 2 weeks
Yeah, that's still
And
cheaper than what I was
That's
doing.
still cheaper, yeah. That's crazy. And I thought that was absurd. That's just regular, like, not focusing on health.
Yeah, it's just like
So it's...
average food,
Mm-hmm.
right?
So,
And I could have gone the route of, oh, well, let's get like 24 chicken breasts that'll last us a month, right?
yeah.
And then freeze them all and shit, and then like, oh, we'll get a bunch of like mixed vegetables that are packaged, right? That'd be cheap. That's not the same as like fresh shit, as healthy shit, because all that shit has preservatives. So if you want to go out and buy shit that's good for you, it's gonna cost much. It's gonna cost a whole bunch of money, which is bullshit. And honestly, I think America as a whole should fucking look into, like, why don't we have subsidies for this shit? Like, if you want to eat healthy, like, I think as much as I love McDonald's and fast food, I really fucking do. Trust me, as you can tell. I fucking love eating shitty food. But if you made it outrageously expensive, vice like buying healthy option, I'm gonna eventually be like, yo, I can't afford this. I gotta buy the healthy option. That's it.
Yeah.
Like,
but
it's gotta be.
It does get expensive eating McDonald's every day.
I mean yeah, it does. And that's what I was trying to say. Like, me and my wife, like, you know, let's say we use Uber Eats or Grubhub or Postmates or whatever the fuck. That's like $35 a fucking meal, right? So you take that 7 days, just one meal, 7 days a week. That's at $210 roughly. Yeah, maybe a little more. Like, that's fucking crazy that we spend that kind of money, right? For shit food. Oh yeah. So
it doesn't.
Like, you can try to say, oh, I'm eating tropical smoothie every day. That shit ain't good. That shit's not good. I promise you. That's full of sugar, full of
any
fucking
restaurant is gonna
salt.
have some preservatives in it.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to like.
Let's just eat at the farmer's market every goddamn
farmer's
day.
market.
Which, so, courtesy of I'd like to call on my friend / co-worker, Jerry, who I work with over
shout out to Jerry
in Portsmouth, right? He told me that his wife shops every day. Like, so for him and his 2 kids and his wife, like, they go and they say, okay, what do you want to eat today? Let's eat steaks. So she'll go and shop for just that, right? Just for 1 day's worth of food.
That's
and
crazy.
Every day. Listen, now, to preface this, she's Japanese, like, full on Japanese. Like, he met her in Japan, like, married her, had kids,
brought her to the States,
right? So that's normal in places like Japan, you know, certain parts of Asia, most of Europe, where you go to the supermarket or go to the farmer's market every day to buy shit.
I mean, at least your stuff is fresh. I get
yeah,
that,
it's super fresh, super healthy, no preservatives. I get it, and I like the idea. I like the idea of it. And now that my wife's getting out of the Navy, you know, she's going to be in school. I pitched the idea to her, and I was like, you know, what if we did something like that? I don't know the expense of it. I don't know how much it costs, but like the idea of that. Oh, hey, we can fucking like get fresh shit every day. I'm okay with it. We're going to have to, again, look at the cost, because apparently they're just raping the shit out of us with fucking prices. It's bullshit.
Yeah, with the healthy stuff.
It's bullshit.
It's,
you
it's
know?
It might also because America right now is kind of like in a health craze where
we should be.
Where they're focusing on that shit.
I don't want to be the country that's a fat fuck.
So corporations are like, they're focusing on that. They're like, oh, people are trying to eat healthier. Let's raise the prices. Let's get that.
Right, so it could be that.
Monies.
It could be that. But a lot of things is like, you know, why the fuck? It's just, if they make it so inconvenient too, right? Like, I gotta go and I gotta buy shit for a week's worth of time, or a day's worth of time, or a month's worth of time, and then I gotta somehow store it and make it still taste the same. Like, it's you would think that paying a bunch of people to make your food and serve it to you would be more expensive than you doing it at home. Like, wouldn't that make sense? Like, that's why you go to restaurants. You go to
and
expensive places like Ruth's Chris, Aberdeen's Barn, or whatever, and you pay $60 a steak because they made it for you. It's a service.
Not to mention they're professional steak
makers.
Yeah,
I shouldn't be able to pay $60 a steak and have to do it at home.
Yeah,
like that's stupid.
It's
like I should be paying like $5 a steak.
Which it is cheaper to do to make your own shit because you make more of it, right? And then you have leftovers.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Unless you portion it out properly.
I don't portion it out. I always have leftovers, and the bad thing about that is I don't really
never eat it.
I don't really eat leftovers.
Me too, dude. Like I don't even know why I go to restaurants anymore and ask for a fucking to-go bag because I'm not gonna eat it.
Yeah.
I know I'm not gonna eat it.
My wife will eat it. My wife is a pretty big leftovers girl.
No, man, I just won't do it. I don't know why. It's never the same. First off. And it's just I don't think about it.
I will eat leftover pizza.
Yeah, I'll eat leftover pizza.
I'll eat leftover pizza.
That's probably from our time in the Navy, man. Like I've eaten leftover shit like a week old. Like this should not be eaten, but I'll eat it.
No.
Like,
once it hits a week old, that's whenever I don't eat it. Even if it's like 5 or 6 days, I don't eat it.
I've done some shit, bro.
Yeah.
I've definitely done some shit.
It frustrated my mom when I was growing up too because she would always like. I think she tried to make Thursdays leftover night.
Yeah.
I didn't eat that night.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
Or I opened up a can of SpaghettiOs. And she's like, we need to clear out the fridge.
That's horrible. That can of spaghetti is horrible for you. You realize that, right?
It's 65 cents.
I know, dude. Like ramen's like 9 cents a fucking package. Yeah. But you know what ramen's full of? Salt.
Well, yeah,
whole fuck tons of salt.
Yeah.
Like
supposedly the actual like ramen restaurants, that stuff's supposed to be healthy.
Right, but then again, you're paying a premium price for it. Like you're not paying 69 cents a package. Yeah. Like it's just not what it is. And it's unfortunate that we have to live in a place like that. You know, I think we should definitely focus on more like keeping us healthy than making money. I don't know. Yeah. And that's just me. Maybe that's you call that whatever you want to call it, but it's just stupid.
Looks like Odin's eating healthy.
Nah, dude, this fucking dog. I saw a piece of plastic in his mouth. That's what I tried to grab for. That fucking dog.
Eating everything.
I swear to Christ.
Rottweilers are known for that type of thing, right, though?
Rotties are known for a lot of things.
Like guard
like
dog.
Obesity, like
probably because they're
hip dysplasia. Yeah, like they.
I noticed that's a common thing in a lot of dogs.
A lot of big dogs. A lot of big dogs always have hip dysplasia. There's just so much weight.
Because my dog, that was one of the health concerns whenever I looked her up. She's a Texas healer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she is at risk for that.
Yeah. I mean, they're big dogs. They got a lot of weight. Their hips just can't handle it. Yeah. Which is unfortunate.
What happened? He's got a bum knee, right?
Yeah, he's got arthritis in his knee. We're have to actually might need to get him surgery. Yeah. I don't know.
That's rough. Especially it is around rough. Here. I don't know about in Minnesota, but in Missouri, veterinarian visits are so much cheaper than right here.
Well, I'll tell you right now, what I've done from day one with this dog was get him on we go to PetSmart. That's his vet. Right, yeah. They have a vet there, and so we put him on this plan, which you pay like a $40 a month
health insurance plan.
Yeah, well, it's not health insurance. It's more like we pay like $40 a month, and then he gets his shots for free. He gets his checkups for free. He gets
for free.
For free. You know what I'm saying? Like, but we don't come out of there.
So it is kind of
like a bill, right?
It is kind of like a dog health insurance.
Yeah. Yeah,
essentially.
Yeah, we'll go with that. And so we do that, and so one of my ideas is to raise up his health insurance to where it's $55 a month, and he gets, I think, 2 free X-rays a year, plus like a urine testing mixed with like some other like dental cleaning and shit for $55 a month.
How are you gonna get him to pee in a cup?
Well, I don't know what they do. I don't know what they do, man. I'm not a vet.
It's gonna be an awkward day for you, guy.
Yeah. Well, he already gets shit shoved in his ass to get like fecal samples.
Oh my gosh,
That's got to be horrible, dude.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Don't look at me like that. I feel bad already.
But it's crazy here. We don't have the dog health insurance.
Yeah.
We probably should. We don't.
I suggest that to anybody
But-
who's got an animal.
At home in Missouri, one vet visit for just shots and a checkup costs like $30 to $40 for just one visit.
Fuck, that's cheap
Yeah.
as shit.
And here, we did the same thing. Get her caught up on her rabies shot, and some other bullshit shots. $150.
That's still pretty cheap, dude. I've come away with...
That's fucking crazy to me.
So, when I take him to the vet, which is like every 6 months, right? And he gets his checkups and he gets his shots, whatever they may be, and everything like that. What I like about PetSmart is a lot of times they give you the bill and they'll say, oh, this is what you would have paid, but this is how much you're actually paying because you're on a wellness plan. So I've come away with not paying a dime, right? And then look on the other side where what you would have paid for the 3 shots he got plus the checkup exam or whatever, it's like $350. I'm like, holy fuck.
How often are you getting him shots, though?
Every 6 months he goes in.
Every 6 months?
Yeah.
So, like, $40 times 6, that's $240. Okay, so you're saving like $100.
In theory. Yeah. Yeah.
Gotcha. That makes
But it's
sense.
still money. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, and if we up his wellness plan, like, he'll get x-rays, especially when the surgery, which we get like a certain percentage off, I believe. Because that's part of the wellness plan.
Oh, okay.
They're like, oh, if you're in this category, you get like 25% off everything you buy, whatever, right?
Oh, that's pretty dope.
Right.
With like toys and stuff?
Yeah, toys, meds, food, yada yada yada.
Does he have toys here?
He does. He's a motherfucker with toys, man. It's got to be like the toughest toy you've ever had because he'll chew the shit out of it.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
I've seen him destroy a stuffed animal in 10 minutes.
Our dog is weird. She'll like destroy like the squeaker toys.
Yeah, because they want to get the squeaker.
Yeah.
Thing that makes noise.
Yeah, and she'll destroy ropes and shit like that.
Yep.
But if you get her like a stuffed animal, just a regular stuffed animal, she'll take care of that. Like it's
weird. That is
Yeah.
very strange.
and she'll snuggle with it like it's a little baby.
That's very strange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She takes care of it though. It's nice. I don't have to buy a lot of stuffed animals. I
Yeah.
do whenever we take it to Missouri though, because my mother-in-law's dogs, they tear every stuffed animal apart.
That's him, man, and he'll eat the fucking fuzz out of it and the strings, like any of the like tug of war, like ropes or whatever.
Mhm.
He'll like grab it and he'll just eat the string part, and then he'll
Oh.
strings.
And you gotta pull it out.
Oh, dude, I was
it's
at
disgusting.
my sister's place in New York when she used to live in Long Island City, and we brought him up. Me and my buddy Rob, we brought him up for the weekend, and this dog was eating his fucking string thing, and so in New York City where she lived, right, there's not really. She lived on like the 7th or 8th floor or some bullshit like that. So and she had a balcony, and she's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, just let him shit out there and just clean it up. It's fine."
On the balcony?
Yeah, it's not a big deal, because her dog shits on like pee pads or whatever, right?
Oh.
Like,
I
So it's like,
always
okay.
hated those pee pads.
yeah, no,
Disgusting.
I never did that with my dog, but I was like, okay, so that's cool. So I see him one day, and I'm like, okay, go to the bathroom, okay, and he goes to shit, and then all of a sudden he gets like real weird and skittish, and I was like, what the fuck's happening? His shit couldn't come out, but he had a string hanging out.
Did you pull
And,
the string?
Dude, I had to pull the string, man.
There's a snake in my
I fucking
boot.
pulled the string, and there's a whole bunch of other shit came out. I was like, oh my god, this is terrible, dude. It was
Ugh.
like the worst thing. I was like, never again.
So that string was like the
Wrapped
plug?
around, yeah.
Ugh.
Think of it like a. I've never used one before, but think of it like a tampon. Like,
Oh yeah.
like you just, you know what I'm saying? And then a whole bunch of other shit came out. It's like, oh my god. Oh no, this is terrible.
Ah. Did he say
So-
anything whenever you pulled the string?
No, but he
No?
was very scared.
He didn't
He was not having it.
No.
He was like tail tucked, like running real quick away from me. I'm like, bro, you need to get this out.
Yeah.
Like, this is not okay that you're having this.
Yeah.
And I don't do that anymore now.
That's weird.
He's got.
I figured he would have said something like, "You're my favorite deputy."
Fuck no. I wish my dog talked. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, he's a good dog.
My dog's eating some strings, but I've never had to pull it out. It's always whenever my wife takes her out, she notices the string.
Oh yeah.
And yeah.
No, that's not a job I would like to have. It's not fun.
Yeah. But those pee pad things, those are weird, in my opinion.
They're just you're teaching your dog how to fucking pee inside.
Yeah.
You're not training them how to fucking be
my
potty
dog
trained.
So I think we bought the pee pads once just because whenever we left her all by herself in the apartment, she would shit all over the floor. So we're like, okay, we'll try to get the pee pads. That way it's focused in one area.
Yeah.
Nah, she shredded that bitch and then shit on it.
Yep, probably ate a bunch of it and then shit it out.
On the shreds.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
So I guess it kind of worked, but after she shredded it.
I got lucky with Odin, where he was potty trained by like 6 weeks old. Swear to Christ, like full on, like
she was
knew how to go outside, knew to hold it, everything. He was fucking great. He still is great. But like, he was so potty trained so quickly.
He never had like separation anxiety.
He does. You can tell that when like we leave him outside of his kennel. He'll chew the shit out of everything and anything. He's eating a remote. He's eating my two pairs of sunglasses. Yeah. Like he'll eat books. Just he's got, and I blame it a little bit on the fact that I was at Oceana and I had to be ASF and I was like gone for like 18 hours a day.
Oh, okay.
And he was in his kennel for 18 hours a day. So all of a sudden I was like, oh well, let's see if he can be outside.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or out in the house, you know. Nope.
That's
just
rough.
Not having it. Yeah. And I don't blame him. I'd be pissed too if I had to be left in the home alone 18 hours, nothing to do.
Yeah.
I'd be pissed too. But yeah, it's
that was my life growing up, bro. I have TV, and that was it.
Yeah, but he can't even watch TV. He doesn't understand. He's a dog.
I mean, you could turn on the TV and he can listen to the sounds.
I used to turn on the radio.
Yeah.
Let him listen to FM 99. But again, it didn't matter. He just chewed the shit out of shit. Like he ruined like 4 books, just tore them to shreds. I got plenty of pictures of like walking in the house and just shit all over the ground, just torn
Not
up
literal
shit.
but like
torn up shit all over the ground, just like motherfucker.
I had to deal with the torn up shit and literal shit. She got so stressed she couldn't hold her bowels.
Yeah, he's really good about that.
She's good now, most of the time. If we're only gone for like maybe 3 hours, 3 or 4 hours, we can leave her out. But we tried a kennel once. We bought a heavy duty kennel, but the first time we stuck her in it, she bent the shit out of the bars and got to the latch. Or not the latch. She popped it off, like one of the sides off, and she got out.
Fuck.
Yeah.
No, not even.
She's smart as fuck.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah. She's not do well in cages.
No, I mean, would you want to be in a cage all day long?
Oh fuck no.
Yeah, me neither.
I'd find a way out of this bitch.
Me fucking neither. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, any more topics? Any topics you want to touch up on?
I don't know, dude. Like, there's certain things like I'd like to talk about, but it's just one of those like should I kind of thing, or did I already talk about it last time? Am I just gonna be like a broken record?
Oh, I mean, like if you talked about it last time, I'd pick up on that shit. It's not.
Yeah, like beating a dead horse. Like I still. Yeah. Maybe I'll go into it just because.
Go for it. I didn't bring dick to this podcast.
Yeah.
I thought of that.
It was short notice.
I thought of that joke on the way over here.
Yeah,
I was like, I'll tell that joke.
It was short notice, but it fucking like Me and a guy I work with got into a fucking argument the other day.
As per usual.
Yeah, I'm very vocal, very opinionated, which I appreciate about myself. But I get that sometimes it's unflattering or unwanted. But, like, the idea that, like, because I'm only 28 years old, that I'm naive or gullible or
28 years old is not a naive
that's what
age.
I said. That's what I fucking said.
21? Yeah.
Naive. I
Dumb.
hear you.
Young and dumb.
28 years old, and don't get me wrong, this guy's like 40 something, right? But the idea that I'm naive, young, or being stupid about something because I have a different idea than you is probably one of my biggest pet peeves. Like, I don't recall a time that I've told somebody, "Oh, you're young, you're stupid, you don't know what you're talking about." I don't remember a time I've done it. Maybe I have, and I apologize for it. But I don't like being told that I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about or I don't know what I'm doing because I'm too young, right? Fuck you, honestly. You're too fucking old, in my opinion. You're too goddamn old, and you don't want to change out of your old fucking ways, which is wrong. I mean, how you're literally impeding progression, and progression is the only way that America's going to survive. Is if you fucking keep making new ideas, new plans, new fucking ways to do things.
Yeah.
If you stay if we always lived in the 20s, then we're going to be
It's because a lot of that is like humans are creatures of habit, typically. Yeah. So most of the time, whenever something changes, people are like, "Oh crap, we can't let this happen. We can't." They're used to their routine. They don't want anything to diverge from
to interrupt it. But change is good. Change is always good.
Not always.
Change is hard, but it's good.
Change is not always good.
Name a time where it's not.
The Holocaust?
That's not a change.
That was a change
that was
in
an
lifestyle.
Event. That was an event.
So that was a change in lifestyle.
Okay, so here, think about this, right? When I talk about change, I'm talking about like...
Think about...
How often has how long has America used gasoline to power their vehicles?
A long time.
Right.
Was this the conversation?
No.
Talking about
the
Tesla?
Conversation was about fucking...
But
I think news media.
I'm just saying there are situations where change is really good. Most situations. But Hitler tried to make a change in Germany.
Okay, but that's different, right? That's completely different, and we're not talking about
that is a change though.
Some authoritarian dictator coming in and fucking the ways of life.
Telling you guys gotta go camping whether you like it or not.
I'm talking about like things like, hey, maybe we should all use solar power instead of relying on substations.
We really should. We have the technology.
Right? But I think that idea to people are like, that's outrageous. Why the fuck would I do that? Like, you're just being some fucking new age millennial who the fuck do you know? What the fuck do you know? You're young. Yeah. You don't know any you don't know anything.
Tree hugger.
Yeah. But that's my point.
I don't understand why most houses now are not built with solar panels.
I don't understand why it takes so goddamn much money to put a solar panels and shit on my house. Why the fuck is it so fucking expensive?
It probably takes a lot of money to build those solar
panels.
I would have done it.
I'd have done it years ago. I'd have done it 5 years ago when I bought the house. That's the first thing I would have done if it was cheaper. But right now, currently, I haven't gotten a quote from a local place, but they're saying average around $50,000. $50,000. I don't have that kind of money to just install solar panels and batteries and shit in my house. I don't. I wish I did, but I don't. That's a lot of money for most people.
Then again, why are they not building houses like
that come with it?
That come with it, yeah.
Yeah.
I get it that they're probably building some, but why is it not a regular thing?
Because it costs money.
And
people are
money.
Like, oh,
it adds 50,000.
Right? Or even you get the idea of people are like, oh, that's ugly. I don't like the way it looks on my house. I don't give a fuck, bro. Like, the idea of getting the solar panels, taking up more fossil fuels that's destroying our planet even farther. I don't fucking want to do it.
With the house, it's not. you don't burn fossil fuels.
Well, okay.
To like heat your house or anything.
If you have electricity, right?
Unless you use gas.
And let's say Dominion for us, right?
Yeah.
So, where's that electricity coming from that Dominion powers you with? Do you know?
I don't know.
Some of it might be solar farms. A lot of it's probably coal
or nuclear.
I don't think Dominion does nuclear. I don't think
Dominion probably doesn't, but there are some places.
But the idea, right? The idea is like, oh, I got to burn coal to give me electricity to get my house. That's bullshit.
Yeah,
That's bullshit. Especially since we're so close to West Virginia, where like coal mining's a thing.
We know how to build like massive generators.
Yeah, we know how to do a lot of things, or even a generator in your house, right? Let's say, because hurricanes are prevalent out here.
Oh yeah.
So
I want to get a generator just because of that.
Right. How do you power your generator?
Oh, gas.
Gas.
Yeah.
Boom. That's what I'm saying, dude.
You got me there.
Why the fuck are we still doing this? Like, I don't understand. And to some people, the older crowd, think, oh, well, you're just being ridiculous. Like, we've been using gas forever. This is how we do it. This is how America runs. You know, we get into wars that are unnecessary because of oil. We
dumb as fuck. The reason, so that's what bothers me, is whenever people say, oh, this is how I've always done it. You've always done it fucking wrong.
Yeah. You've been wrong this whole time. Yes, I understand you didn't have any other way back then. Yeah. But progression. You need to move forward. You need to think differently. If you don't think differently, I'm glad that you're going to eventually go away. Die off, go the fuck away. Yeah. Because I don't need your fucking old-timey wife should be barefoot and pregnant in the house. They don't deserve fucking jobs, or women aren't supposed to have.
Oh, that's a different conversation.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the old-timey thinking. Like, oh, we're always going to be in Saudi Arabia. We're always going to be in fucking Kuwait because we always need the oil. We don't fucking need it, dude. We need to fucking transition into something like wind, solar, fucking water. I don't give a shit what it is. Just something that's renewable. Yeah. Something that will not damage this planet any more than we already fucking have.
And a lot of people, it's what you brought up, the reason we're in the Middle East with oil. A lot of people don't believe that. A lot of people are like, oh, it's because they're acting so crazy over there.
No, man.
It's for the oil. And they're acting crazy in Mexico.
We're acting... Okay.
The cartel is
so in my personal belief,
than what's going on in Iran or Iraq, or Afghanistan.
In my personal belief, why did we get into oil? Why did we get into the Middle East for the first place?
For the oil.
For the oil, right?
Well, yeah.
And so then let's say you even call like Desert Storm 1, right? You went out and did all that shit because of the oil, and then you're like, oh well, we're good. Well, guess what? You breed resentment in the Middle East. And then 9/11 happens.
Partly.
And now we're in there because they did something to us.
We were friends with them because of the oil, right?
We're friends with who? Saudi Arabia?
No.
The person that kills journalists?
We started out friends with them, right? And Russia was trying to invade and like take their land so they could have the oil. And we were like, all right. We'll provide you with the guns and the means to protect yourself from communism. And
you can give us a big discount.
Yeah, and
that's essentially what happened, dude.
And then we traded that for the oil. And then they were like, once they got done with Russia, they took the guns, pointed them at us.
Yeah, because they were like, oh wait, we don't like what you've done here. You're meddling in things that don't pertain to you, and now we're mad. And so then 9/11 happens, and now we're mad at them even more. And now we're going over there fucking them up, which. I'm not saying that it was a bad idea, because fuck those people who fucking hurt us. But when you think about it, why were they hurting us to begin with? Because we were putting our noses in places we don't belong.
And it wasn't the whole country that did 9/11, though.
No, definitely not. I'm not saying that whole countries are bad. I'm saying there's people in those countries that were affected by the things that we've done that they're mad. They're mad at us. And rightfully, I wouldn't say rightfully so, but like, they're mad. Can you imagine if some fucking other country came in and started telling us how to do shit? I mean, that's what the Revolutionary War was, right? Britain tried to tell us how to fucking run shit, and we said, fuck you. Yeah, and we're going to do something different.
That was more or less Yeah, that's a very simplified version of it. Yeah.
That's, I mean, essentially, a
Yeah.
different country came and tried to tell us how to
They
do
were
shit.
trying to tell us what to do and how to do
and we
things
said, fuck you.
without us being able to have a say in it.
Right. That's what America does a lot of
Taxation
times
without
in these other
representation.
places. Right? We just need to stay the fuck out of their business. Like, honestly, it's if they want to go out and
But what if what they have is having like a direct effect with us? Not necessarily
like what?
Not necessarily the Middle East, but I know Mexico with
So let's say Canada
with their
or Mexico.
cartel.
That's a good one.
Their cartel is directly affecting us because they're running guns and they're running drugs
Right.
over the border.
Right. So you think
That's-
about things like that.
Yeah.
So
And a
how
wall,
come
a wall isn't going to stop that.
Here you go. Here's a good example that I read about. Since however many states, I don't know what it is up to now, have legalized marijuana, right?
Mm-hmm.
To where they're making tons of money. The cartel in Mexico has stopped selling marijuana. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, we don't need to do this anymore because
they still sell it. It's just not.
it's so
they've,
okay.
They've turned most of their pot farms into opiate farms.
Yeah, because fentanyl, right?
Yeah.
So if you made it to a point where like you don't need, like, the cartel and black markets survive only because there's something that a lot of people want that is illegal. Okay.
But
And I'm not saying fentanyl's good.
Yeah.
Fentanyl's bad. Fentanyl kills a ton of people. You know, killed Mac Miller and shit.
you'll never be able to make that over the counter though.
No,
It's
I mean,
already
but
legal
people
with
prescribe it.
Prescriptions.
Yeah, they prescribe it. So if you think about something like, okay, marijuana's illegal in this country federally, right?
Mm-hmm.
Make it legal. Make shrooms legal, right? And if you want to go radical side, make all drugs legal, right? If you make all drugs legal, right?
It's a very libertarian view.
Well, adults who want to fucking ruin their lives, you ruin your life. You're an adult. You've made your decision.
What about the kids?
That's different, right? Even like tobacco, alcohol,
Because
right?
if you make it legal, those shitty adults, right? They're
Gonna give it to their kids,
They're not necessarily gonna give it to their kids, but they're gonna have it in their home.
and
right?
the kids will try
and
it.
The kids will find it and they'll try it.
Okay, but is that any different than alcohol? You're breeding
No.
alcoholism at fucking
No.
12 because the kid's been sneaking vodka out of your parents' locker.
However, alcohol is not the same as fentanyl.
I mean, they're both drugs.
Yeah, but fentanyl is gonna fuck you up way worse.
Okay, I get the severity of it.
Yeah.
But again,
That's
taking a shot of vodka,
see,
vice taking a shot of heroin
and alcohol,
is different.
Alcohol
I got
is
you.
legal.
Right.
So that's
And we
you're,
tried to
you're
make it
reinforcing,
illegal.
You're reinforcing my point. So if alcohol is legal, right? So grown-ups have a stockpile of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the kids get that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So if we made like fentanyl and all these other drugs legal,
Kids
we
would
get a stockpile of that.
All right.
And the kids would get that.
So I get what you're saying, but the problem I'm still dealing with is like, it's still a drug regardless, right?
Oh, yeah.
And any self-respecting parent, right, will keep their liquor cabinet locked up. Will let their kids know, hey, this is not good for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Adults drink it, right? It's not good for them either. But this is definitely not good for you. I don't want you growing up to be a fucking 24-year-old alcoholic because you've been taking shots of vodka from me since 12.
Yeah,
I don't want that.
With the mind of a 12-year-old.
I don't want that to happen, right?
Yeah.
Nobody else does either. Most people don't, I should say.
Yeah.
So the idea of like marijuana, right? Marijuana, I'm an adult. If I want to smoke it, I can smoke it. If I tell my kids, hey man, this isn't good for you, they should be, you should have a good parenting thing that were to say like, hey kids.
Is there something? So I know with alcohol, it stunts your like frontal lobe growth.
Yeah, it stunts a lot of shit. It's a drug.
That's why it's not legal until you're 21, even though your frontal lobe doesn't stop developing until 25. Is there something that marijuana stunts? Does it also stunt that frontal
memory.
lobe? Memory? Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I can see that. I used to have a lot better memory.
But again, so okay, whatever. If you want to say 25 is the legal age you can smoke marijuana, whatever, dude.
I mean,
Like, it's fine. I'm fine with it, and I know
they're probably going to make it the same as alcohol.
Well, they just raised tobacco in the States at 21.
Yeah, same as alcohol.
Yeah, but it used to be 18. That's what I'm saying.
You know how many 19-year-olds are probably pissed off?
Progression.
Yeah.
Progression. Like, you can't...
Change is good.
You find out new information, and you fucking act upon it.
Talk about have you guys talked about the tobacco change at your work?
I said it's something, because I looked at all of it. But they're all older than... And we're all in the military.
No. I mean,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter to them. But I know a lot of older people are like, oh, I don't understand why you can join the military, but you can't drink.
Well, I said the same thing back when I was 18. I was like, hey, man, I'm in the military dying for my country, but I can't have a fucking beer? Like, what the fuck? I got you. I feel that. And I understand where that's coming from. But when it comes to health, like, that's not ideal. Like, don't get me wrong. I've been drinking since I was 15, right? Mm-hmm. I understand. And I know kids want to party, and I know kids want to fucking fit in, and I know they want to be part of the crowd. I get it. The main reason
they want to do that is because they romanticize about it because it's illegal for them.
Well, this country does that. Yeah. I mean, you look at Europe, look at most Asian countries. Kids have been drinking since they were like 8 years old.
Yeah, and it's normal for them. They don't get crazy whenever they're 21.
And so when 21 happens, they're just like, that's another year. Who fucking cares? But in America, we're like 21, time for 21 shots in 21 minutes. Yeah, that's fucking ridiculous, dude. 21 shots in 21 minutes, that's how you die. You get alcohol poisoning and die, right? We're dumb with that shit. We fucking need to make things that are in general not terrible for you. Make them legal at a different time. Like, listen, I'm not going to start... If they made heroin legal tomorrow, I'm not going to start shooting up.
No, most people won't.
Right? And that's good. That's what you want. But you also don't want crime happening where, like, people are getting shot or robbing people or fucking robbing convenience stores because they're like, I need my heroin fix. Like... Yeah. That... You know, I need to pay my drug dealer $35 for one fucking needle. If it's legal, they don't need to go through drug dealers.
No.
Right?
Drug dealers will just
be the 7-Eleven down the street.
So, drug dealers will no longer be a thing. They will be broke instantly.
Yeah. And so,
but
my point is...
Unless they diversify. So,
But if you make every drug legal, my point is that it's not fucking... It's not... I don't want anybody doing drugs like that. I don't want people, doing coke, smoking crack, smoking meth, shooting heroin. I don't want that.
They're already doing it.
But they're already doing it. So you're not going to stop them, right? And if you as an 18-year-old kid are like, hey, I think I want to do heroin for the first time. Why have your parents not told you the dangers of heroin? Why has society not told you, like, this is a horrible thing? Yes, you can do it, but it's a horrible fucking thing.
They like to think that, if you made heroin legal, they probably would talk to you about heroin because it's legal. But since heroin's not legal, since it's illegal, they're like, oh, my kid's perfect. He doesn't.
That's a naive parent, and I would never someday when I get kids, I would never think my kid is an angel. Mm-hmm. I would automatically assume my kid's probably smoked pot once. My kid's probably drank sometimes. Mm-hmm. I get it, but I need you to be responsible for it.
You're a different kind of parent.
Because I'm young and progressive and I'm not stupid like these old fucking people that have realized that...
I was referring to the parents that go to, like, parent-teacher conferences with a failed test and say, you're wrong. My kid aced this test.
Well, those people are snowplows.
Yeah. Like, they were like, they said the War of 1812 was happening in 1950.
Yeah. Like, I'm not talking about those parents. I'm talking about the parents that are like, oh, my kid would never do anything wrong. I know that they've slept for the last 36 hours straight, but they're just tired.
Those are the same parents that, like, argue with the teachers.
Yeah.
That they think their kid can never do wrong.
Right, and those parents are inattentive parents. They need to be attentive parents. I'm not saying that you need to be an authoritarian in your house, but you need to have at least an open dialogue to a point where like, hey kid,
I think
of mine, you came home drunk last night. I do not approve of this. I do not approve of this. You are fucking 16 years old. You should not be drinking.
Yeah.
But I understand it happens. All right, you will be punished for it, but I'm not gonna be this whole disappointed. How could you, fucking like, this is unbelievable. I never would have thought you'd do it.
I think you need a good mix of like authoritarian and understanding.
And that's not authoritarian. Then that's a fucking good parent. That's all that is. That's a good parent.
Yes. Yeah.
Like
you
don't need to be your kids' friends. You don't need to be out there shooting, shotgunning beers with your kids. But
that's the problem with labels. Is it's like black or white.
Yeah.
You need to be a good mix of everything.
Yeah. But
it's like
I said last podcast, man, I don't have a kid. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, right?
Doubtful.
I'm just dumb. Dumb kid. But
yeah, that's really,
in my opinion, you need to like, I never want to have my kid tell me, like, me catch them smoking pot or catch them drinking, and I say, why didn't you tell me you were doing this before? And then they go, I was scared of what you do. I don't want you to be scared of anything that I do. I want you to tell me things. Like, the first time, like, my kids have sex, I'm going to hate having to hear it. But I would like to know, and I'd like to inform them, hey, wrap that shit up.
Yeah,
girl or female, or female or male, wrap that fucking shit up.
That's going to be, like, that's going to be hard for me to not have, like, a double standard.
And it's hard. It's very hard for a boy and a girl. Yeah. It's very hard. But you have to try.
I'm probably going to have a double standard. I'm just not going to show it.
You have to try to be equal, right? Yeah. Like, your son should not be whoring around the same way your girl should not be whoring around.
No.
Like, same standard.
But I got you. That makes sense.
That's all I'm saying. I don't want my son going out there and fucking doing some nonsense as you get fucking STDs, bro.
But yeah. But with my son, his first time having sex, I'm gonna want to talk to him about it. I'm gonna be like, hey, so did you use protection?
Was it consensual? Please Christ.
Please Christ, yeah.
Please Christ, let it be. She wasn't blackout drunk somewhere and you just decided that's, oh God, I'd be disappointed.
Let me know if I need a lawyer.
Well, no, but again, you shouldn't get to that point. Like, your son should know because you taught him better. Hey, man, no means no. You know, like.
But with my daughter, her first time, I'm gonna let my wife handle that because it's different.
And that's up to you. You're the adult.
She's going to feel a lot more awkward talking to me about it.
Of course.
Than with her mom, and
I think you guys should.
It's still gonna be awkward.
In my opinion, think you guys should both be in there. Like, if she wants to talk to your wife about it, like, but you should at least be there.
Man.
That's all my opinion.
I will tell her, like, hey, if you want to talk to me about it, I guess I'm all ears. I'll do it. I'll take one for the team. But
same as with your son, man. Your wife should be in the room.
With your brother, I care. I don't want to say I care more about him, but it's going to be less hard for me to hear.
Yeah.
Because it's that.
I get it. It's different for men and women.
That's stigmatism.
Stigmatism.
Stigmatism. It's stigmatism that daddy's little girl sort of thing.
Well, just the fact that, like, it's different for men and women, dude. Like, men, when they have sex, we don't have to be. There's no penetration.
Oh yeah. Usually, there's no
invasion into your body, right? Usually, unless they're gay, which is not even all the time. But my point is, right? There's less of an invasion, right? So you don't feel like your child has been. I don't want to say the word defiled, but you know what I'm saying, right? Like, it's less than like a woman. Like, even like our physical exams, right? Think about a physical exam until you have to get a colonoscopy, right? It's basic, like, let me see your shit. Okay, you're good.
Let me poke around, cough.
But a pap smear and a gynecology like, so much different that we can't even understand unless you, like.
Pap smear just sounds gross, bro.
Yeah. But that's the kind of thing, like. Smear. Like, you can't even, as a male, like imagine like the difference between it.
No.
Like we've never experienced anything like it until, you know, let's say colonoscopy where you got to get something up your ass.
With a pap smear, that's just them taking a cotton swab and
I doubt it. I doubt it's just as simple as that. I bet it's way more than that.
It's probably not exactly.
You can ask your
like
wife about it, but
I think I have. That's the thing. I think it's just like they take something, they swab around inside. Imagine
doing it like in your dick or something, dude. Like that'd be
my
horrible.
gosh, pee hole.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Right? Can't even imagine shit like that.
Right?
But women do it. Women are
kink.
supposed to do it like what, every year?
Yeah.
Some shit. Right? And we expect them to do it every year. And
especially like right after they've had kids.
Yeah.
Like my wife's got to get one soon.
But that's what I'm saying, right? Like it's one of those things like
sounds rough.
We could never, just like childbirth, we can never imagine how that is. Never imagine. Like you can try to like sympathize, but you're never going to be able to be in the same spot as a woman. You never will be.
No.
And the same goes for women and men. Yeah. Like you will never understand the pressure that society puts on a man to be a man.
A provider. Right?
A provider.
Yeah.
You got to be security. You can't be some pussy who
Yeah.
can't protect his own fucking wife.
If there are 5 guys smacking your wife's ass,
guess what? You got to fight all of them
at the same time.
And that's what society says. I know I've said in previous podcasts that like I wouldn't do it. I'd try to be the pacifist for it.
Oh yeah.
But there's something that society is telling you like that's not a manly thing to do. You're being a pussy about it. You need to go out. You need to protect what's yours. And that's unfortunate.
You don't have to be the aggressor in that situation. You have to be like, let's get you out of here.
Yes, that's how I would essentially handle it. But sometimes, man, like, again, society's putting a label that says you have to act this certain way, otherwise you're not a man.
That's the traditionalist, but I think it's changing.
I hope it's changing.
Where,
But
because of like feminism, they actually get mad whenever you try to be chivalrous.
Yeah, and again, women will never understand the society pressure that men have put on. Like you should be athletic, you should be good at sports, you should be strong, you should be.
I actually, there could be an argument made that there is more pressure put on a man because he doesn't know. Oh, if I be chivalrous, is she gonna get mad, or is she gonna get mad because I'm not chivalrous?
Well, nowadays it's very. I've heard, and I've seen.
Yeah.
It's a very difficult time to be a male, a single male in this country. Like.
Oh my gosh,
it's super
you're gonna
difficult.
Blow up the comments with. It's not difficult to be a male.
No,
you're a straight white male. You have it so good.
And the reason I say it's difficult. And it's not because of any privilege or anything like that. It's difficult because you don't know boundaries yet. You don't know what, and you should know boundaries. Like you should know that.
Yeah.
You can't just touch people, right?
But
that's the thing.
That was the old boundary. As long as you didn't touch them, that was fine.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's certain things like if you go to a bar,
what you say.
Yeah.
And if you're staring at him for too long.
Again, I make the old joke that's probably insensitive, but man, it's the fucking greatest form of flattery to be complimented on something about you. Like, if I had women all day long commenting about, oh, you look so good and all this shit, and like, I'd like to get a piece of that, right? I'd be like, oh, fuck, this is awesome. I look great. But again, women think there's some sick fucking pervert out here trying to fuck. It's like, it's so different.
The difference is as a man, you never think about like, oh, I could get raped.
Right. Usually that's not a thing.
So that's the thing with people that are like, oh, you look real good. I'd like to get a piece of that. Yeah. For a woman, that's a security alert. That's a red flag.
Yes, and
red
it should
flag.
be. And you want to know why
but
it should
as
be?
a man, you're a pretty sizable guy. You're like, you can
I
take
can
care of
fend
yourself.
off somebody who's trying to do something. And that's the thing. Like, that we can't understand as men. Women, and regardless of what you fucking want to say in a comment or fucking
Which I don't think
say
we've gotten
what-
a single comment yet.
I don't think
but,
so either. I haven't checked, but
Yeah.
think so either. Like, women are physically, and this is science, physically less
Biologically.
strong than a fucking man.
Biologically.
Period. There's very rare occasions where a woman is going to outpower me. Very rare
Which
occasions.
there are women out there that I know there's definitely women out there stronger than I am.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go up against a Ronda Rousey or a fucking
fuck
something.
no.
I'd get my ass
fuck
whooped.
me up.
But again, that's
the
years of
average-
training, years
Yeah.
of fucking preparation.
The
years
average man versus the average woman
man's going to win. Almost
Exactly.
every
That's-
time.
That's why there's.
And that's why women.
That's why there's that fear of like.
And I understand that.
That's why you can't say like anything too creepy.
Yeah, and I
you'll come off-
understand that. I do. I promise I do. I just feel like I would be very upset if my wife came home and said, "Oh, a bunch of dudes at work were fucking saying, you know,
Oh, yeah.
stuff about how great I look." I'd be very upset. As a man, I'd be very upset. Like,
That's
that's
why-
not your place to do it. But again, double standards come into play. If I fucking was at work and all these women were just all over me, I'd be like, "This is fucking." I mean, I'm not going to cheat on my wife, but like, this is fucking cool.
This-
The attention's
this is
nice.
cool, man.
The attention's
It's-
nice. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
And it's different. It's a double standard. It's whatever you want to call it. And I'm.
Yeah, but yeah, say there was one time when I was in A school, right, tech school for any of you other non-Navy military guys out there. In Chicago, my wife was visiting. She was in a hotel, and she was actually packing up her stuff to leave. Right, she'd taken her bags out,
Yeah.
and this guy held the door for her. It's a nice thing, but then he was like, "Hey." And she was like, "Hi," and I guess he took that as an invitation to like follow her and talk to her. She's like,
Oh.
Do you work out?" And he was like patting his legs. And you're like, "Do you work out?" And she's like, "What?" And you're like, "Do you work out?" And she's like, "No." And he just kept trying to talk to her and followed her to the car.
Right.
Yeah.
So
After
guys
that-
like that are fucking shitty. Like,
After that, I wanted to get her a gun.
I
like,
don't go
I wanna-
that far.
No,
like,
man. I wanted to get her something that could equalize.
a man trying to do something,
Mhm.
right?
Which I'm not necessarily saying that if I got
Go
her
out
a
and
gun.
shoot everybody who talks to her, but
Yeah, I just with that peace of mind, if there was a crazy rapist out there, I want her to be able to defend her. I'm not
Right, I
saying
would always
I'm not
want
saying
my-
that guy was a rapist, but he was being a little creepy.
yeah, like I mean,
and it's
the idea that your wife said one word to him, and then all of a sudden that means, oh, well, now she wants to talk to me.
Yeah.
Like, that's not the
Which-
same as like going up to a bar
I
and
think
see a single woman at a bar and you're a single man say, hey, like,
so.
how are you? That's not the same.
Yeah,
Like-
and I think he was. So she was wearing a shirt, like a drummer shirt, because she was in band, and
Yeah.
it said quads on it, because for like the
Okay.
4 drums.
Okay.
And I think he saw that, and he was like,
Quads,
"Oh,
I got you.
that's a talking point." But it came off really, really creepy, and I'm not trying to justify it. I just know that after that situation, my wife was super like frazzled.
Yeah.
And
And as a man, you don't understand that.
I don't understand that. I
because
was
you
like,
never,
there's-
if some woman followed you to a car, you'd
Yeah.
be like, oh,
and
okay,
like,
it's just some
do I work out? Yeah, bro, I work out.
Yeah, of course I
What's
fucking
up?
work out.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about? Thanks for noticing, by the way.
Yeah.
You know.
Thanks for noticing my thick ass quads.
Yeah. But again,
Um,
it's a different. That's one of the ideas that I have is that like we will never understand. Men
Yeah.
and women will never
It's-
understand the different struggles between the two.
Yeah. And
Because
I
you've
know,
never been put in a situation where you have to understand.
And I know, as a man, you think you can take care of yourself, and you might not always be able to, but you think you can. And as a woman, it's always this man is probably gonna
he
overpower with.
He
could
could.
overpower me.
Or I don't know what he's thinking.
Yeah, I don't know what he's thinking, but with an equalizer like mace or
Some
taser
sort of weapon
or
of some sorts.
yeah, or a gun. If my wife had a conceal and carry and she was packing some heat in her purse, that would have given her some
Right.
real peace of mind.
But again, to be devil's advocate, because I often do it. What if there's a situation where your wife was frazzled, had a gun with her, walking somewhere. Let's say she dropped her wallet somewhere, right? And a guy picked it up and was like, hey, and he started following her to a point where she thought it was creepy, and he was just trying to give her wallet back. Like, hey. Turns around and shoots him dead in the streets.
That's different. That's a lack of training.
Right? But that's my point, right? If she's frazzled, if she's scared, if she thinks something could happen, in my mind, as a man, it's either me or you. And I'm going home to my fucking wife. Like, I am going home every day to my wife. So when it comes down to it, I'd rather be a wrong situation where I shoot somebody. Now, is it right to think that way? No. I want to be better. I want to give people the benefit of the doubt that they're not always trying to hurt me, right? Like, that's why I don't understand a lot of people who have arsenals in their homes.
That's why at that point, if somebody's calling for her, she would turn around, maybe have a hand on her purse just in case. And
but is it too late at that point? If that guy just ran up on her and said, "Hey, boom," and just fucking,
well, yeah, that's,
you know what I'm saying?
I was actually thinking about this at work the other day. Like, with me being a small guy, if I'm not the first to attack, I might lose that fight automatically. Right. There's a point of, like, self-defense where you need to be the first to attack.
Right.
Because I was the reason I thought about this is I was reflecting on an episode of 13 Reasons Why, season 2. If you haven't seen season 2, spoiler alert. Have you seen season 2?
Dude, I don't watch that shit.
You don't watch that
shit? Stupid.
Okay.
But anyways, go on.
Well, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen season 2, all of it, don't watch this next part. Anyway, there was this kid who was, like, he was super, like, fucked up. Okay, he was getting like suicidal mass shooting type mentality because he was getting bullied at school. But he got sent off to camp.
What kind of camp?
Like camp for troubled youth or whatever.
Okay, like a military camp.
Yeah, he came back super, like, mellow. He was doing really good. And then these baseball players came up to him, like, in the bathroom, and they're like, "Hey, you fucked up our baseball field. We couldn't go to state." And
they fucked him up.
And he was like, "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I was just a dumb kid." And they were like, "No, fuck that." And they took his head, slammed him up against the mirror, and then hit him on the sink. And, like, hit his head on the sink. And I knew at that point, that kid was fucking done. There's no way he's fighting back from that.
Right.
And I'm not saying there was a chance he would have won, because there was 3-on-1 at that point anyway. But even if it was 1-on-1 in that situation, I would definitely have a concussion. You'd have to be the first one to. You'd have to be the first one.
And that's the kind of mentality that, like, a lot of women feel is like, hey, I've got to be proactive, not reactive. Because if I'm reactive, it's not, the chances of survival or me being okay go just plummet.
That's a like. You need to be trained enough to be able to.
Right, but a lot of people, the average person is not. The average person is not.
Maintain distance. Let them know you have a means of defending yourself if you're that worried about it.
Right. But then you get a lot of people too, like, let's say, you know, my wife is out alone for some reason, and it's dark out, and some guy comes up to her, and the first thing she says is, "I have a gun, like, don't fuck with me," right? Or something like of that nature, right? I have something, don't fuck with me. So an average male, where he's gonna think, what's this fucking crazy lady talking about? Like, all I'm trying to do is something nice, and then all of a sudden that's gonna change his perspective. Is all these women think all I want to do is fucking hurt him.
Well, at that point, it's another thing. Like, yeah, your feelings might be hurt, whatever. Just explain. Oh, no, I didn't mean anything like that. I noticed you dropped your wallet. I wanted to return it.
Right.
Yeah.
But especially, right, we have the privilege, and I use privilege lightly, as being white males, right?
Yeah.
We do have the
straight white males.
We do have the privilege of that. But let's say one of us were black, right? Listen, I know society's trying to fucking get better about it. I know. At least I try to surround myself. if a black male came up to you in the streets in the dark, like saying, "Hey," like
as a lady or as me? As me.
As a lady.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say as
and
me.
I'm not
I wouldn't really care.
Really not saying that women are racist by any means.
If it was,
I'm just saying there's a difference.
If
there
it
is
was
a difference.
woman, I don't think it would necessarily be. Maybe
okay, so
that's
even as a
my
male,
naivety to
even
racism,
as a male.
But it would just be a male coming at her.
Like
it wouldn't be like necessarily like, oh, he's black, he's gonna hurt me.
Right. So like even as a perfect example,
that's not my thought process on
or I shouldn't say a perfect example, but as an example I can think of right now. I watched the other day Harold and Kumar Escape from Guantanamo Bay, right? Yeah. I know it's a movie. I know it's supposed to be funny, right? I got it. But they were driving through some sketchy town, and there's a bunch of black guys out there playing basketball, and they crash their car, and all of a sudden, you see a bunch of them, and they're like, what the fuck? And they start walking toward them, like, oh my god, what do? We gotta run. And then, again, it's comedy. The guy's like, hey, where are you going? We're just gonna help you fix your tire. That's like a play on society of like, that guy could have meant the best. And this dude was like a fucking 6'7", 300-pound bodybuilder dude. And like, that dude is intimidating to a lot of people. And you immediately think like, oh fuck. Like, this dude wants to fuck me up. And so you run away or do something stupid. Like shoot them or...
Well, you don't need to... At that point, that is again a lack of training. I think every time
it's a lack
every time you purchase a gun or get a conceal and carry license, I think you need to go through a self-defense class on when you should use that gun and when you shouldn't.
Yeah, you should never pull a gun on anybody unless you are meant to kill them. Yeah, that's the only thing.
But
you should fucking pull
we have that training being in the military. We know that shit.
Well, kind of. Because there's plenty of people out there
but
that don't know that shit in the military.
Being in the military and we've had gun training.
Yes. We on our current ship are fortunate enough. Yeah. But you think about a bigger ship where they could never touch a gun after boot camp.
Or even
never ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very different. It's very different.
I understand that.
It's a training in...
That's, again, another thing that I think they need training on. Because I know even if they did say that you need training whenever you buy this gun, they're probably going to make exceptions to the military. I don't think they understand that.
I got my concealed carry. I just paid $80.
Not everybody in the military knows how to handle a weapon.
They didn't ask me for shit. They just said, oh, you got a military ID? Here's your gun. Here's your concealed carry. I assume you have training. Yes. Like, don't assume don't assume that at all.
Which is awful.
Yeah, it is awful.
I mean, it's great for us.
I'm happy that I didn't have to go through something. It's
easier for us. Yeah. But we should... There should be like some sort of card that you would have to show.
But there should be training on lots of things. I'm not even talking about guns. I'm just talking about social training. Like,
that should happen in school.
But that should happen in school, right? Let's stop worrying about dumb shit like fucking advanced calculus. If I'm going to be a goddamn electrician or a plumber, I don't need advanced calculus. I really don't. I don't. Even in the military, I've been in 10 years. Name a time that I've used algebra.
That's different. Shit. That's again, we talked about this before. That's schools focusing on you going to college and not a trade school.
So,
and you don't need to take advanced calculus. That's not.
No, it's an option, but the fact that so
unless you absolutely need another math credit, and then
here's a good example in something that I learned about from one of my older friends, Jerry. Again, his kids are so his wife is Japanese full on, so his kids are half Japanese, right? And in Japan, apparently, you have to take a test to even get into high school, right? Yeah. So, like, from middle school, you have to take a test to see if you're smart enough to get into high school. And if you don't, you just enter the workforce. Yeah. Right? And a lot of that is like, okay, so you took a test to get into high school. Hey, you excel at fucking electronic theory. Guess what? We're going to have you go to a high school that is specifically tailored to electronic theory.
A STEM?
Kind of like, yeah. Like, you are going to go off into a specific training, almost like a junior college, right? Yeah. And then you go through that, and then you go from there to a college that, again, furthers your training.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. I don't think there's so many things in high school that I learned that are stupid as fuck.
I think I'm going to put my kid in a STEM high school.
Yeah.
Just because...
Baccalaureate fucking programs. I fully believe that my kids someday, like, I want them... I'm not saying you need to know what you want to do, right? Because I didn't know what I want to do. That's why I joined the Navy. But I want you to, like, have an idea and not to think that you're going to be some fucking... some marine biologist doctorate, because the odds are good that you're not going to get that job. You need to start thinking more towards, hey, what am I good at? Oh, I like working with fucking cars. Guess what? A mechanic is not a shameful job.
No, it's not.
We need mechanics out there.
Needed.
And we need them to be good at their jobs. So let's
Especially if they're working on Teslas.
Right? Well, Tesla is a whole different thing. I don't even know how to work on one.
Yeah, you might not. Yeah.
I really don't. I knew how to work on my truck. Like, I could change the oil, I could change tires, I could change, like...
So that's probably another reason why a lot of people don't want to get rid of gas cars, because it's going to put a lot of people out of the job.
Transfer those fucking jobs. That's my point. Like, we need to start taking these kids, and we need to start moving them towards a idea that, hey, not everybody's going to be the president. Not everybody's going to fucking be a rap artist. So, not everybody's going to be a scientist who cures cancer. Not everybody's going to do that. You need to do the jobs that you're good at. I'm sorry. It might not be a fucking crazy job where you make trillions of dollars. It might be a job where you're the mechanic who fixes that trillionaire's fucking car.
That's the thing. When I was younger, I was always told, and I know other kids, you can be anything you want. However, what they didn't say is you can be anything you want as long as you beat out these other kids.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I don't think a lot of kids grew up understanding is there's only so many things of the one of
and some kids
so
are
many
dumb.
Jobs.
Some kids are dumb.
Yeah.
I'm not very smart, right? I did fine on my ASVAB. I did fine in high school. Yeah. But I didn't take anything hard.
That's actually
I didn't take AP classes. I didn't take honors classes. I got through high school, went to the Navy, and I personally think I excel at my job. I'm good at it, and that's what I know that I'm gonna do. I'm not trying to be some fucking crazy rocket scientist because I don't have the mental capacity to do it or the drive. I do not care enough to know advanced calculus mixed with fucking engineering degrees about, like, that's too much for me. I don't want to do that, and that shouldn't be a fucking shame. That should be a, hey, we need those fucking people. We need those people out there doing the fucking work that some people don't want to do. And that's just the fact of this country, that we don't have enough people out there. They always tell your kids, you can be the president. You're going to be the president of the United States.
That's
you might not. Most likely won't.
I can't remember which family member used to joke about this with me. But anytime I would say I was having trouble with a subject in school or anything, I think it was my grandpa. He used to fire back, well, everybody needs a pizza delivery man.
So again,
he used to joke about me with that, and I was like, oh crap, I don't want to be a pizza delivery man. I'd work harder.
Okay, so I'm not telling kids to be complacent. I'm definitely not telling parents to let their kids be complacent. But I am saying you need to realize the reality of your kid might not be a fucking genius. Yeah. They just might not be. And it's not a shame. That's not a problem to not be a genius.
You shouldn't encourage, or that doesn't mean you shouldn't encourage them to do better, to try and be smarter.
Yes, I think you should be try and be smarter.
Definitely.
I think you should try your hardest. Give 100%. And if your 100% a B, then your 100%'s a B.
Plumbers need to be plumbers need to be literate too.
Right, but they don't need to fucking, know the ins and outs of a fucking trig, like, course. You don't need to know that to be a plumber. You don't.
Need
and you know what's
know
funny?
How to get the hypotenuse.
Those fucking plumbers make fuck tons of money.
Oh yeah, they're making 6 figures easy
of money. And everybody thinks, oh, you're just some fat guy with your plumber's crack hanging out, and you just fix my sink every once in a while. Yeah, well, guess what?
Well,
that person who fixed your sink, you're paying them $200 to do it.
An accredited plumber is making easy 6 figures.
Yeah. It could have been a 20-minute job. You paid them $200 for it.
Especially if they're
Fucking
running
nuts.
their own business.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people should try out
And respect that. They should.
Yeah, you should. And that's, oh man, the lack of respect for these lower, quote unquote, lower jobs, right?
Yeah.
Is
Oh my
so
gosh.
terrible.
There's
You can just treat any construction worker, you can treat any plumber, electrician, you can treat anybody who comes and takes down your fucking tree like dirt. Why the fuck do you think you can do that? Because you clearly couldn't do it.
Oh yeah.
And so they can.
Even
and you fucking didn't.
Even like managers at like McDonald's.
Yeah.
That shit's. Guess what? You treat them like dirt. Without them, you wouldn't have your fucking McDouble right now.
Without those people flipping that burger, are you gonna go and have to walk into McDonald's? No, you're not. Because you want.
I used to do that shit.
I worked at McDonald's for 6 months. I did it.
I used to be that manager, the shift manager.
Yeah.
And there was one time where I was. So, one of my cashiers, right? They were having trouble with something, and they asked. Somebody came in with a receipt. It was like, "Hey, I ordered this. This is what's on the receipt. I got the wrong thing." And he was upset about it. And she was like, "Okay, I don't really know how to fix this. Let me get my manager." And she went back, got me, and I came up, and he was like, "Oh, what the fuck does he know? What are you, like 12?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. Automatically assuming.
Yeah.
And that's ageism, man.
Yeah.
Like, you just assume because I'm younger than you, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Clearly,
fuck you, dude.
I'm the only one in this fucking restaurant with a tie.
You're the boss.
I am the current expert in flipping burgers and cash register systems right now.
I'm telling you right now, I want to get my driveway done. If a 16-year-old kid came up and owns his own business and has a driveway installing business and made my business fine, I'm not going to be like, "Oh, what the fuck does this 16-year-old kid know?"
No.
I'm going to assume that this kid
knows what he's doing.
Has been vetted properly, and he knows what he's doing. He's proven himself. He's trained. He knows what the fuck he's doing. I'm not going to fucking tell this kid, "No, fuck you, I want somebody older."
Yeah. Especially if it's something like not as hard. Like McDonald's is super easy fucking
It's very easy job.
It's a super easy job. That's why as a 17-year-old kid, I could be a manager.
Yes.
But
there's people out there that are
difficult.
40-year-olds that are fucking managers.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm not trying to hate on any of them because my father knows a fucking guy that I think he went to high school with who worked at Cub Foods, which is like our food line, basically, right? Mm-hmm. When he was 16, first job ever, never left the company. Guess what? He's a fucking GM of that place.
Oh,
he makes fuck tons of money. Yeah. And he never left.
I really wish
he never left that fucking Cub Foods.
Yeah.
And you know what? He makes fuck tons of money. He makes more money than I make. Mm-hmm. And I didn't fucking work there.
I think about it all the time. I was like, what could have been if I would have stuck with that? However,
you could be a franchise owner at McDonald's.
Yeah, I was only a shift manager for like 4 months maybe, because I was still in high school at the time, and they were trying. I was in high school. I was trying to play football, and I could only come in. They had me come in every day.
Right,
every day, and I was like working a full-time job while going to high school. That shit's stressful. Fall asleep in English class.
So let's take out the school, right? Let's say all you're doing is just being a manager at McDonald's. Yeah, well, guess what? There's room for opportunity.
But
there's always room. As long as you have the dedication, there's room for opportunity.
So that's another thing why, like, in order to be like a general manager of that store, like a store manager, like the next step up, I would have had to have had a degree.
And I'm fine with knowing at least a little bit about business.
Yeah,
like I get that.
So what they called it in order to become a shift manager, you had to go to a 3-day, like,
training course.
Yeah, it was they called it Hamburger University.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's just like a 3-day business school, and most of it was like just them asking questions like, "Oh, if a customer comes up and asks you this, what do you do?" And you're like,
"That's okay.
Oh, we'll be as nice as possible."
Right, but that's the training that you need, right? And I'm not trying to tell anybody they don't need training. Everybody needs training, but on the job training's fine.
But the thing with getting a degree for being a general manager, yes, you need to know simple math, but you don't need to know calculus, like you said, which is what they're gonna try and teach you in college.
Yeah.
I don't need that shit.
My wife's about to go to college.
I just need the business aspects.
Yeah.
Like, I just need to know business.
My wife's trying to go get a BA in... I think it's business. Right? Well, it's business. It's a BA in business management with human resources focused, right? And yes, that kind of job, you need to go to college. You need to go and learn how to be a business manager, right? It's a very thoughtful job to where you need to go and say, hey, I know how to handle people. I know how to handle books. I need to know how to handle payrolls and shit like that. I need to know that, right? So college for that's fine, right? But I don't need to handle all this shit. Like if I'm just going to go be an electrician for a fucking company. Yeah. If I want to work for Dominion, right? I don't need to know how to write you a 10-page paper.
No.
That's not necessary.
It's not.
Right? Until you get to a point where you're like, hey, I think I can do my own business. And then I feel like you might need some training on how to be a business manager. I do. Yeah. I mean, now, don't get me wrong. There's plenty of examples. I can name tons of them that are, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs. They all didn't go to fucking college. They dropped out. I mean, they went, but they dropped out. They didn't get a degree in anything, but they're fucking millionaires or billionaires. Yeah. Right? Like, but that's not going to happen to everybody. It really isn't.
That's so dumb to think.
That's really not going to happen to everybody. And I just want to make sure that someday when my kids become that age, I want them to think shit. Like I'm not telling you dreams are dumb.
So I think,
but I'm telling you that you need to be realistic with it.
In my opinion, the most important skill you can have is problem solving.
Yes, problem solving is very important.
Yeah.
But problem solving on different, like problem solving with math is different than problem solving with I have a confrontation with somebody on the streets. Different problem solving. Math is not going to help you. I'm not going to spew out the hypotenuse of a triangle to stop this guy from whooping my ass.
You can do the math in your head, like statistics. How likely is this guy to fuck me up?
Well, okay, so the math, when they say, oh, do the math in your head, right, is more of like, think about what could happen. Yeah. This dude's 6'5", 300 pounds. When I say
problem solving is the most important, I'm thinking like logic-based problem solving.
Logic, yes.
Being logical about the situation.
Yes, but you don't need logic all the time for math, right? Because a lot of math things that I look at are like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, why does 1x equal 2? Like, it's just math. Like, it could be a bad example. I didn't say I was smart.
Because x equals 2.
Right.
1 times 2 equals 2.
But to somebody, if you were saying like,
that's
like, oh, solve this horribly long math problem, Vice, solve how you're going to get this guy out of underneath his car that he got trapped under. The math is not involved in that. Math is not involved. Right? So there's a difference. Yeah. There's a difference between like school logic solving and like normal reality problem solving. Like there just is.
You have to find the logic in both of those things.
Yes, and I agree. I'm not saying you should be a well-rounded individual. Like you should know a little bit about everything. I'm fine with that. But if you want to excel, if you want to excel and be an expert in something, go for it. Yeah. But just know you have weaknesses somewhere else, right? Like again, I'm terrible at writing papers. I'm terrible at doing math. I'm terrible at school. I really am, which is why I don't want to go to school. But guess what? I'm good at real life things. I'm good at charisma. Yeah. I'm good at fucking talking to people. And I'm good at fucking solving problems in real life situations.
That's the whole reason we started this shit.
Exactly. I'm good at fucking certain things, and I'll use my strengths to my advantage. Yeah. I'm not going to try and say, oh, this podcast is about solving math problems or figuring out like the way to solve AIDS. I don't fucking know any of that shit, and no. I'm not planning to tell you that I can do that. I'm just trying to be a real fucking person doing real shit. problem solving real shit.
But according to Solving AIDS, you just need to. With the Solving AIDS part, according to South Park, you just gotta inject money.
Yeah, lots of money. That's
Yeah.
what Magic Johnson did.
Yeah.
That's what Magic Johnson did.
All
But
right.
yeah.
Man.
All right,
It
guys.
was a good talk.
It was a good talk.
I gotta
We
get
get a
out of here.
little off the rails.
I gotta go start a run.
Yeah, that sucks. I ain't doing that. All right, guys. Well, this is our 4th of July episode.
Yeah. Happy 4th.
Happy 4th. Celebrate America's birthday. Happy
Yeah.
birthday, America. And
Celebrate your independence, your freedom.
yep.
Blow up some
Be careful.
fireworks.
about
Don't
the
set
fucking
any
fireworks.
fires.
You know.
Yeah.
But hey,
Unless you're having a bonfire, then light that shit up. Cause that's super fun. Have you ever?
Yeah.
Well, it's a different topic. Yeah.
Just have fun, guys.
Yeah.
You know.
Don't get too crazy.
Yeah, we'll see if we do one later on this week. It's iffy. We got duty, so we'll see. But have a good 4th, guys. Any comments? We appreciate it. Again,
Yeah.
like every time.
Please throw those comments below. We want to know that you're actually listening and you're not just clicking on the video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
we want to know your thoughts on the topics.
anything you want us to talk about, or any concerns or problems or whatever, email us at therealshopcast@gmail.com.
Please.
And we'll try and get back to it. All right, guys. Have 4th. We'll see you next time.